Hello again, YouTube. It is Dr. Kendo.
And Mrs. Kendo.
And Mrs. Kendo, sorry. We are here in beautiful Walt Disney World at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and this is actually our third day on our honeymoon. So we've actually been really enjoying things. I've been having a blast. It's my first time at Disney. I've even got this little pin. It's like a button that goes on my shirt each day that says first visit. We both have ones that say happily ever after for, our honeymoon. And you got one for your birthday.
Yeah, my birthday was on Monday, and
September 3rd.
I got a pin that I got to wear on my birthday that said happy birthday, Mary.
And so I've been having nasal problems the whole time, so sometimes my nose acts up when I'm in here, if I sound funny. So yeah, but we've been having a blast. We did Epcot our first day, Magic Kingdom on the second day, and today was day 3, which we did all the Animal Kingdom park stuff. Not all of it, but a lot of it.
Most of it.
So, anyway, we did want to get back to some questions because we answered a few of them when we were starting out our honeymoon journey. And now we're kind of midway through, and so I'll have Mrs. Kendo read the first one.
Censored Llama asks, how did y'all meet, and when did you realize you would be together forever?
That's a really good one that we could both actually elaborate on and tell, but we have to decide who's going to tell it.
Well, I will start because we actually met in kind of an interesting way. We have kind of 2 stories about how we met. I met Steven, or became aware of his existence, when I went to orientation at St. Ed's right before my freshman year of college, which was in June of 2008. And I was not in his group, but when I walked into orientation, he was the first person I saw. He was handing out bags, and he handed me a bag, and he had crazy spiky hair, and I said this in a previous video, but he was sitting next to a guy who looked like hippie Jesus, and their hairs together just looked crazy, but I thought he was so cool, and I wanted to be his friend, and I really wanted to talk to him, but I was afraid. And it wasn't like I liked him, I just really wanted to know him. That's what it was like. And then we met for real doing tour guides, and he also was going out with someone I knew, and that all worked out fine in the end. Don't worry about that. But yeah, you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, that was just, as she said, it was somebody that she knew pretty well her freshman year, who I was dating, and she actually, something that was funny was you thought, like, wow, they're so good together, they should be together forever, and that lasted like 3 months or something.
Yeah, and then she was my friend, and she actually said that I should date him, and I said no, because they were friends, and I didn't want to say that I didn't want to have feelings for him, and then he, basically what happened was, it ended up working out that she convinced me to make a plan to try to get with him, and she was even at our wedding, just so you know, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how... Yeah, exactly, just so you know how cool everything is now and stuff with that. So, the second part of the question was, when did you realize you would be together forever? And obviously that's hard to, like, pinpoint the exact moment when you would say, we're going to be together forever, but wanted to be together forever, that was early on, because we both actually had a wish that we made that we both didn't know about of each other, but it's probably safe to assume, but this was like 4 months into us dating. Our birthdays, part of it we spent at this children's museum in Austin that has all these fun activities. And we both made these wishes because there's a section where you're sitting on this like bench underneath a ceiling with a bunch of stars on it, and so it says to make a wish under the stars. And one interesting thing about being at Disney here is we saw the fireworks show yesterday at the Magic Kingdom that was talking all about wishes, and I told Mrs. Kendo that my wish came true because I'm with her and I'm married to her, and so anyway. At the Austin Children's Museum, apparently we both made wishes without realizing the other made the wish that we wanted to one day marry the other. And
we found out that the other person wished that maybe 2 years ago though, so it's been a while.
So, maybe that was a point when we realized we wanted to be together forever.
But I must say that I didn't know for sure that I was gonna marry Dr. Kendo, but I did know. Well, this might sound creepy, and I promise I'm not creepy. Like, this is just how it was. But whenever he wasn't dating me and I kind of started to give up on that, I was talking to my friend Jackie about it, and I was like, I guess it's just a good thing that Steven and I aren't together, because if we were together, maybe I wouldn't be able to, like, do things in life that I'm supposed to do or something. And she was like, what are you talking about, Merritt? And I was like, well, if I was with him, we would end up getting married, and maybe I'm just not supposed to get married, and maybe that's what's not supposed to happen. And she thought that was crazy. She was like, why, what makes you think that you already know you're going to get married? And I'm like, trust me, if we start dating, we are going to get married. I just know. So, I wasn't even dating him, and I said that, so.
So yeah, we could honestly, I feel like we could talk about this even more, but it is a long time to spend on one question, so maybe we should move on, do you think?
Okay.
Alright, so this is my boy who is a very great subscriber of mine because he's very active and comments a lot, and I really appreciate that more than anybody knows. So Akram125, he asks several questions. The first one for me was just, did you have any issues with YouTube from your parents, as in them being mad at you? And he said, because I feel a lot of pressure from mine. By the time I started doing YouTube, like video game commentaries, I was well moved out of my parents' house and, on my own, life paths and everything. And really, honestly, if I was living with them, it wouldn't matter either. It's just like, they wouldn't have any problem with it, and they know that I do it. I don't think it would really be their cup of tea or anything, they're not going to be watching Mario Kart or anything, and I guess getting much satisfaction out of that. But they're happy for me, so, really anything in life they've supported. Like, I was skateboarding for a while. I did the spiky hair and red shoes. They let me do all that, no problem. I started doing, like, my rap music, rap rock. It was about almost 9 years ago at this point. And, I would say that YouTube would have nothing different in that regard. So I'm going to just go ahead and summarize that with no. So for Mrs.Kendo,
he asks, what was my first pet ever? My first pet ever, my parents got 2 years before I was born. She was a black Cocker Spaniel named Macintosh, and she was named after the computers, the Macintosh computers, because my dad was selling them at the time. And Mac was like one of the greatest dogs ever. She was super fun. She's the reason that I love black dogs more than any other color of dog on the planet. She was really fun, and she was super energetic and would like bounce on you and be happy and run and chase balls, even when she was deaf and blind when she was old. And she did all of this up until a week before she died, so she was awesome. She was also in love with my cat. He was devastated when she died. They were like married pretty much. So then, after Mac died, I always said I wanted to get a black dog, and I decided, I don't know how old I was. I was pretty, young teenager, that I wanted to name my first black dog Apple. And I did, so fun story.
We have a dog named Apple.
And then if you ever had a kid...
This is for both of us.
What would we name our kid, basically? Well, we have actually, I came up with names a long time ago. I had a hard time picking a boy name, but as of right now, and I don't foresee this changing a whole lot, we want to name our first daughter Scarlett, which...
2 T's.
Yeah, 2 T's like Merritt. It's kind of like Steven, Carla, and Merritt all mashed together. My mom's name is Carla. And I want her middle name to be Marie. My great-grandma's name was Marie, and she was awesome. And I want all of their initials to be SMS, because the M is for me and the S is for Steven. I want them all to have the Steven Stern alliteration. So her name would be Scarlett Marie Stern. And then our number one choice for a boy is Sawyer Michael Stern. So I love the way Michael Stern sounds together. I almost wish that was the last name.
And by Stern, you mean Kendo. Nobody knows my last name. Well, maybe they do.
Oh. Well, you're sure missing out. He has a pretty sweet name. I'm sorry if I did just like identity reveal on YouTube.
It has been revealed in like once or twice maybe in slight ways.
They
but
can't fully appreciate the name unless they hear the whole thing.
I know. I'm trying to make a joke to like our kids with Kendo names.
Yeah, their last name's not really Kendo.
It's like Apple Kendo.
Well, Apple's last name is really stern too.
Apple Kendo.
My last name isn't really stern.
So, I'm sorry. That was very, like, lame. Me coughing was very lame.
Okay.
I feel bad. I'm sorry.
You're feeling all these secrets.
No. That was fine. I'm not trying to make a big deal out of that. So I was just gonna say, everybody did a great job. We still have, a few more questions on here that we're gonna answer at later times. I don't want to make these too long or anything because I don't really have editing going on right now. So. Just like the last video that we did, we're all burping and coughing all over this video. Sorry.
Or you are, I'm just drinking.
Okay. So, this is embarrassing. So anyway, yeah, we don't really have much editing, so none of this will be taken out. But yeah, we'll get to some questions later on. Maybe it'll be after the honeymoon, or if we have some free time within the next 2 days. We're not going to be here for too much longer, but we still have a little while to go. We're basically halfway done.
Over halfway.
A little halfway done. Yeah. So, anyway, we just want to thank you again for that. And remember to be looking out for when Mrs. Kendo makes a new channel. I'll make sure and promote that. So, anything we should say about the honeymoon? It's been going great.
Awesome.
I've been leaving some comments, but saying that these hats, they get us a lot of perks, actually, and, it's not like we're asking for them, saying, hey, give us these perks. It's just we're wearing these hats, maybe being a little obnoxious, but showing our love to the world, and, often they'll say, oh, well, here's some fast passes that we have, take them, or, like, sit right here in the front row, and we got to see the Lion King show, and
in
sit
the reserve
section? Right on the reserve bench in the front, and so, occasionally they'll help us out, and as somebody who, I never go to theme parks and have that kind of stuff happen to me. I never get to, get these special seatings in, sports or, in whatever. And so, I don't take that for granted, I really appreciate something like that. And it doesn't happen often at all to me, so I'm really appreciative of that. Okay. So I guess we're done, so, as always, we'll catch you on the next video, and thanks for viewing.
Bye!
Ugh.